dreams in our eyes. The crowds roar like a storm on the wind. We're the underdogs fighting again.
Hey guys, good evening, and welcome to another edition of Stateside Footy, the biggest little soccer podcast on the internet. And of course, I have nothing really to back that up other than it sounds pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and get into it because tonight is another edition of USMNT Yanks Abroad. And of course, we had some really good performances, not just this last weekend, not just today, but also in the Champions League last weekend. So we're going to get through a couple of these as we go down the list. Quick notification for you guys to make sure that you hit the like and subscribe buttons, and then also hit the notification bell as well too, so you do not miss out on any upcoming Stateside Footy content, including this upcoming Friday, as I am going to live stream the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw, as we will find out exactly who the U.S. men's national team will be paired up with in the group stage. So definitely make sure that you hit the like and subscribe buttons for that, because quite honestly, that's going to kick ass. All right, quickly, we got Nateski. What's up, Nateski 75? RIFC, maybe Rhode Island FC, man. I love it, man. Nate's the shit. So, all right, let's go and do it. And we're going to start with our striker pool, and of course, it's Flo Balogun. Did play this last weekend in a 1-0 victory over PSG. He played 85 minutes, had a nice little chance creation, 33 touches, 19 to 25 of accurate passing, but also in the Champions League against Papos FC. He played 89 minutes, had a goal on 4 shots, 28 touches, 5 in the opposition box, and altogether, when you combined it, the fact that he was actually, the fact that Monaco actually beat PSG and he looked convincing in it, all the way around, man, I give that about a 7.5 rating. And of course, when we talk about our U.S. men's national team, pool players playing in the Champions League, not just playing in the Champions League, but also essentially starting in the Champions League, and the fact that Flo Balogun has actually ended up being Monaco's talisman. The thing that I love about this is the fact that this dude. It's interesting because last year when I was covering Flo Balogun, and when that season started, the 24-25 season, that dude got off to one of the worst starts, and it seemed like it carried into the 2025 portion of last season. And it really wasn't until midseason that he kind of got going. Yes, there was a lot of injury concerns with him last season and also coming into this season, but he's actually stayed relatively healthy to the point now where if he can stay healthy through the course of this season, get into the World Cup, and then have a good World Cup for the U.S. men's national team, we're talking him going back to a bigger club. Obviously, if you guys remember, he started with Arsenal. But that being said, man, a good, solid performance all the way around. And it's nice seeing Flo Balogun continue to score. The other guy that's worth talking about scoring is this guy right here, Ricardo Pepi. PSV had a 3-0 win over FC Volendam in the Eredivisie. He played a full 90. He gets a goal and an assist in this one on 5 shots, 42 touches, 13 in the opposition box, 13 goddamn touches in the opposition box, 17 to 22 of accurate passes. And it looks like he was also 3 or 4 on aerial duels as well, too. And the crazy thing about this is they were playing in a 2-striker system. And I actually kind of like this for PSV, which is a little bit different from the norm for PSV. But that being said, it's like you have 2 of these type of strikers that unfortunately you can't pick between one of them. So I like the fact that they went to a 2-striker, and the fact that Pepi can facilitate both roles in a 2-striker position. And that's going to pay off huge dividends. By the way, I have Ricardo Pepi at an 8.5 rating. He was that good in that game, and it's like, yeah, I get it, man. SC Volendam, but these are the type of opposition where you're supposed to have these type of games and look good doing it. So Ricardo Pepi was absolutely fantastic in that one. How about this guy? Yep, welcome back to the show, Josh. And it's interesting considering that Norwich City is absolutely complete dog shit this season, and the fact that this might be the last couple months for Josh City at Norwich City. I would probably assume that he's going to get a move in January, as this club is so close to getting relegated. Be that as it may, they won 3-1 over Queen's Park Rangers. He played 88 minutes. He definitely got an assist in this one. Also managed a shot, 20 touches, 8 of 11 of accurate passes, and usually you get the work rate with Josh. And this one, it was not really any of that, but it was still good enough for a 7 rating. And welcome back to the program, Josh. Patrick Agyemang. They lost. Derby County lost 2-1 to Middlesbrough. Agyemang played 90 minutes, except he was playing underneath a primary target 9. He was actually one of the 10s. Played a full 90. Did get a goal in this one. And it looks like he had 2 shots on net, 30 touches, 4 in the opposition box, 11 to 15 of accurate passing, 4 of 7 aerial duels, good enough for a 7.5 rating. And it's nice to see Agyemang. Actually, it's nice to kind of see 3 out of 4 strikers in our pool get goals this last weekend. And of course, Agyemang has kind of been touch and go in the championship, which we kind of figured there was going to be a little bit of a learning curve. But that being said, man, it's nice to see that. All right, let's move to our forwards now, and we'll begin with Gio Reyna. Gio gets his first start in a very long time in a 2-1 loss to St. Pauli, Borussia Mönchengladbach. Let's see. He had 68 minutes, 43 touches, 24 of 29 of accurate passes, 4 in the final third, 5 of 6 of accurate long balls, 3 of 5 in the aerial duels, and that was good for a 7 rating. And this is absolutely nice for Gio Reyna. This is essentially what he's been building to. All those 12-minute, 15-minute appearances, all of a sudden it culminates. He comes into the November window, has a phenomenal window. Again, comes off the bench the first time back about a week and a half ago, gets another 15-minute appearance, makes the most of it, and now all of a sudden he gets a start. And these are the type of games that you would love to see, because now all of a sudden if he can get another one, now we're actually on to something, because he needs to be starting come the March camp. Let's turn to Wes here, and Wes actually had a very good performance. We start off this last weekend with Juventus's 2-0 victory over Udinese. He played a full 90, had an assist on that one on 3 chances created, 62 touches, 38 to 45 of accurate passes, 6 of those into the final third, 3 and 3 of accurate long balls. And of course, he played in the Champions League. And in that one, he actually played a full 90, had 51 touches, 38 accurate passes, and altogether he had a 7.5 rating. And it's awesome, man. Wes now, I think it's for especially considering Juventus' situation with a new manager, it's nice to see that Wes is now thrusted back into the starting 11. And ever since he's actually been inserted, he's hit the ground running. And he's actually been one of the more consistent players in Europe. He's been able to stay healthy, and the stability is nice for West. He doesn't have to continue to prove himself, and so that's nice to see. The other thing, Timmy Weah. Let's talk about Timmy Weah. This last weekend, a 2-2 draw against Toulouse. He did play a full 90, and of course, he's playing in the, I guess you could say, the right wing back position. Managed 1 shot on 63 touches, 6 in the opposition box, 43 of 47 of accurate long balls, 43 of 47 accurate passes, 2 of 2 of accurate long balls. And in the Champions League, they won 2-1 over Newcastle, where he played a full 90. He had an assist in that one too. 72 touches, 43 of 47 of accurate passes, and that was also good for a 7.5 rating. And it's nice to see. It's the same thing with Way. It's the same thing with McKennie, although he's been doing it a little bit longer. That being said, the majority of Way's playing time has been at that right wing back position for Marseille. And it would probably, I guess you could make the parallels to think that if he's going to make the World Cup roster, it's probably going to be in one of those outside back positions, considering that's where the bulk of his playing time is coming from for club. You never know, depending on exactly what the forward depth looks like come World Cup time. We'll find out exactly how that goes, but it is what it is. Lastly, Alex Zendejas. And his Club America, they beat Monterrey 2-1. Zendejas played a full 90, and he scored a goal in this one. She had 2 chances created, 63 touches, 22 of 31 of accurate passes. 4 of those went into the final third. He was also 11 of 19 in ground duels. By the way, he was the man of the match in this one as well too. And he was deserved an 8.5 rating. And so that's the thing. It's like all of a sudden now Alex Zendejas is coming back stronger than ever as well too. And it's nice to see. Very nice to see. And that's going to be somebody who's probably going to be playing a pivotal part. Of course, wasn't a part of the November window, dealing with injuries. Actually, I don't think he was a part of the U.S. men's national team since last September. During that window, where he had the nice goal against Japan. But the reality is, when you look at the forward depth and the way that we're playing right now, it's not an area that's going to be deep. And so for having that guy like Zendejas, who's playing on the right side of a 2-high-10 system, I guess you can say in a 3-4-2-1, to actually have that as his primary position and also scoring goals down there in Liga MX, it's absolutely monster. All right, let's turn to our holding midfielders, and we begin with Tyler Adams. Tyler, over the weekend, Bournemouth lost 3-2 to Sunderland, although Tyler actually had one of the greatest goals I think I've ever seen from the circle. And it went right over Robin Roofs, who had absolutely no shot at stopping that one. He did play 71 minutes in that match, 43 touches, 33 of 37 of accurate passes. 4 of those went to the final third, and he was 4 of 6 of duels. Good performance, but today they lost 1-0 against Everton. He did play a full 90, 26 touches, 56 accurate passes. Actually, let me read. Sorry about that. That is going to be 76 touches. I beg your pardon. 50 of 56 accurate passes, 8 defensive contributions, 6 of 9 on duels, and that's good enough for a 7 rating as well too. And that's the thing. It's like Tyler is just as steady as they come, and the fact that when you can actually kind of piece together goals with that as well too, it's always nice to see. Tanner Tessman had himself a phenomenal game in Olympic Lyon's 3-0 victory over Nantes. He essentially played a full 90, 98 touches, 83 of 89 of accurate passes, 12 into the final third, 3 of 5 of accurate long balls, and I think he had 6 clearances in that one as well too. That was good for a 7.5 rating. And lastly, when it comes to center defensive mids, James Sands of St. Pauli. Obviously, they beat Borussia Mönchengladbach 2-1. He played 89 minutes, 69 touches, 53 of 61 accurate passes. 6 of those went into the final third, 3 of 4 of accurate long balls, and then 2 of 4 of ground duels, which is good enough for a 7 rating. And it's nice to see James Sands back into the countdown. He's been sadly he's been out of the rundown here for at least 4 weeks now. But that being said, it's like when you have that type of performance, you actually have to be noticed. Whereas Aidan Morris, his last two performances for Middlesbrough, not as good as this one. So from that standpoint, it's good to see James Sands back and getting recognition. Let's turn to our wing backs now. Serginho Dest And of course, PSV beat FC Volden 3-0. He played a full 90, managed one shot, 91 touches, 5 in the opposition box, 61 to 66 of accurate passes, 8 goes into the final third. That dude is insane. And of course, in the Champions League, PSV beat Liverpool 4-1 at Anfield. By the way, he played a full 90 in that one, 1 assist, 3 chances created, 55 touches, 28 to 31 of accurate passes. Good enough for an 8.5 rating. Jesus Christ, man. Is Serginho Dest, is he currently in form right now? Because he's absolutely lighting the entire continent of Europe up, especially when you consider that match against Liverpool going into Anfield. Liverpool is just tough to beat regardless. I understand right now what's going on with Liverpool, but Anfield has always been a place where teams don't go in and win. And the fact that they went over there and rolled over Liverpool in the Champions League, and Serginho got on the score sheet on that one, man, that was just absolutely brilliant. Turning to John Tolkien, he did play this weekend. They lost Holstein Kiel lost 1-0 to Hertha Berlin. He played 74 minutes, 58 touches, 29 to 38 accurate passes, and that's really all there is to talk about John Tolkien this week. Only a 6 rating. Man, his form is starting to dip a little bit, but we'll keep an eye on it. Lastly, Joe Scally. Of course, they lost 2-1 to St. Pauli. Now, this is interesting because I got 2 different matches to talk about Joe Scally here, because he's now playing on the right side of the back 3. And he played 90 minutes against St. Pauli, 91 touches, 61 of 65 of accurate passes, 11 of those go into the final third, 6 of 8 in ground duels. And then earlier last week, actually midweek last week, they also beat Red Bull Leipzig 2-1, where he played a full 90, 74 touches, 31 of 45 of accurate passes, and 5 of 9 in ground duels. And those are absolutely solid performances. Good enough for a 7 rating. But I will say is, now that they've switched tactics, because they had to do something because they were absolutely getting slaughtered in the Bundesliga. But now all of a sudden they're starting to get some results. By the way, getting a nice win over Red Bull Leipzig is actually quite nice. But the fact that he's kind of doing it in a position where I think a lot of people feel like that is going to be an area where he's going to make the World Cup roster, and to actually get solid minutes at that position, this is absolutely beautiful for Joe Scally. And it also kind of leaves the door open for a World Cup roster spot. It also makes me think a little bit, depending on exactly which way they want to go with that back 3. Me personally, I still think Chris Richards is best on the right side of the back 3. And I prefer Tim Ream centrally and maybe Austin Trusty on the left-hand side. But that being said, it's like there's going to be some different configurations with that back 3. And the fact that Joe Scally is actually kind of holding his own as the right side of a back 3 in a league like the Bundesliga, just saying. Speaking of center backs, Chris Richards. Let me pull him up real quick. There he is. Chris Richards. They lost 2-1 to Manchester United this last weekend. He played a full 90, 64 touches. 5 of those went into the opposition box. 31 of 48 of accurate passes, 3 in the final third, 6 clearances, and 8 of 13 aerial duels. Not bad. But then earlier in the week, I think this was the day before Thanksgiving, they lost 2-1 to Strasbourg in the Conference League. Came in on the second half. Actually played well in the second half. 45 minutes, 34 touches, 15 to 21 accurate passes, 7 tackles, 8 of 10 in ground duels, and that was good enough for a 7.5 rating. And so, granted, Crystal Palace is in a position where they've kind of dropped a couple in the row. But that being said, it's like when you look at the fact that it's Crystal Palace. But let me take a step back. You never should lose to Strasbourg in the Conference League. You are the Premier League side. You should be winning that all the time. They have multiple cracks at winning that game. They couldn't. But you would think that maybe they might be able to rebound. Again, Chris's performance was okay. It wasn't 100% sexy, but it certainly wasn't a liability. It was a solid Chris Richards performance. Maybe I'm just a little butthurt that Crystal Palace lost to Manchester United. Maybe that's really what this is all about. Turning to Mark McKenzie. Toulouse drew 2-2 with Marseille. He played a full 90. He managed an assist. That's actually pretty awesome for him. 43 touches, 18 to 23 of accurate passes. 4 of those went into the final third. 10 defensive contributions, 5 clearances, 2 tackles, 2 or 3 of grand duels. Good enough for a 7 rating. Let's see. Austin Trusty, Celtic beat Hibs 2-1. He played a full 90, 83 touches, 67 of 71 accurate passes, 5 of those into the final third, 4 of 7 of accurate long balls, 8 defensive contributions, 4 of 4 of aerial duels, 7 clearances, which is good for a 7.5 rating. And Austin Trusty right now is absolutely in form for Celtic right now. And again, I get it. He's playing in the Scottish Premier League. But that being said, it's like, can you really ignore a center back in this pool that is absolutely on fire right now? I don't think you absolutely can. And lastly, Nokai Banks, as Osberg lost 3-0 to Hoffenheim. He played a full 90, 48 touches, 27 to 33 of accurate passes, 12 defensive contributions, 8 clearances, 5 of 7 aerial duels, and that was good for a 7 rating as well, too. And this is now the second performance for Nokai Banks where he's showing some consistency when it comes to some of his defensive metrics. And it's nice to see, considering his age and the league that he plays in. And so it's, again, this is not something that's going to necessarily be relevant for the 2026 World Cup, because I don't think he makes the World Cup squad. He's going to be a 2030 guy. But that being said, when you think about where he's going to be in 4 years, he's probably going to be rounding into his prime. And if the developmental curve or the developmental arc continues to go the way I think it is, he's going to be one of our best 3 center backs come 2030, 100%. Let's turn to our keepers, and we got to talk about Jonathan Klinsmann because his side Cesena beat Modena 1-0 in Serie B. He obviously played the full 90, but Jonathan Klinsmann got an assist in this match. And he also saved a penalty, obviously the clean sheet in this one. 6 save, 5 of those came inside the box, right? So you're talking within anything within 6 to 8 yards. 24 of 38 of accurate passes, 51 touches, and that was good for a 9.5 rating. And I absolutely love it. Now, here's the thing. I don't know where Jonathan Klinsmann actually fits in the pecking order when it comes to goalies for the World Cup. But let me ask you guys this question real quick. Like, would it surprise you if he was number 2? Because I would probably assume Matt Turner's got a place somewhere. Like, if they're going to carry 3 and it's, Freeze, Turner, Klinsmann, I don't think anybody has a problem with that, right? Or is this something where you want to carry your third goalkeeper to be a young guy or whatever? Like, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter to me. But that being said, I always feel like Jonathan Klinsmann, it's going to be kind of like Nokai Banks, right? Where it's like he's going to be more of a 2030 guy. And especially if he can actually take advantage of Serie B and get some consistency, he'll move somewhere a little bit better. And then at that point, then we actually have ourselves a legit keeper playing in a legit, in a legit league in Europe. And then come 2030, like maybe that's when Jonathan Klinsmann actually ascends to potentially number 1. I don't know. That's kind of my rationale. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Star Wars Satan. He'll be back in 3 hours. Fantastic. And lastly, Ethan Horvath. By the way, Ethan actually had a clean sheet versus Millwall midweek last week. And he was absolutely sensational in that one. But this last weekend, Sheffield Wednesday got blitzed. And again, it's Sheffield Wednesday. They are a team that's in administration and they're on a transfer ban. And it's too bad that happened to Sheffield Wednesday. So Ethan Horvath has been hit or miss. And by the way, he's actually been their best player this season, which isn't saying a lot. But that's going to do it. But what I will say is that this has finally been the first week in many weeks where you've had this type of performance up and down the European playing pool, where you have more than one striker scoring a goal. This week you have 3. All 4 of them that were listed this week, all of them, participated in GA. And then the forwards, one of the cool things was that Giovanni Reyna finally gets his start. And of course, that is something that, doing these shows and monitoring Gio, listen, for a guy that's only been getting 15 minutes a week or 15 minutes a match, just kind of biding his time. It's nice to see it. But the other thing was Alex and Dejas. That was the thing that was awesome. Nice to see as well, too, because he started the season absolutely on fire. And was dealing with some injuries there over the last month and a half. And now all of a sudden it feels like he's back to doing what he's doing best. But again, center back, center defensive mids, again, 100% consistent across the board. And really the only weakest group this week is probably wingbacks, maybe. And what I mean by that is John Tolkien. Serginho Dest was awesome. And Joe Scally was pretty good as well, too. So for that standpoint, yeah, like I don't mean to, pull John Tolkien's card. He's been good for Holstein Kiel this year, but not this last weekend. So it is what it is. All right. So that is going to do it for me. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Again, I need you guys to do me a really, really big favor. And that is make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons and hit the notification bells as well, too, because, again, this Friday at about 11:55, 12, essentially 12 noon, I will be live streaming the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw. It's going to be absolutely massive. And from that standpoint, this is absolutely big, man. The last time obviously that we had a World Cup on home soil was 1994. I think I might have been 13 years old. And so now is the opportunity to kind of let that soak in, really, to think about it, right? Like in literally like 8 months, we are going to host the biggest tournament in the world on American soil. So it's an opportunity for us to, kind of been like, yeah, shit, man, it's real. It's definitely going to happen. And I'm just absolutely fired up for it. Man, I love World Cup draw. I remember the 2022 Cup draw. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't exactly happy with our draw. But that being said, the good news is we know for a fact we won't get England in our group this year. Thank God for that. So I would probably assume that our group is going to be, I guess, tailor-made for us to get to the next round. That's what I'll just say. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons because Friday is going to be absolutely through the roof. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Again, man, we do this usually every Monday night, but of course tonight we had to do it on Tuesday because of scheduling. So usually this usually is a Monday night thing. So anyway, I'm going to take off, guys. You guys take care. I hope you had a great Monday. Hope you had a great start to your work week. And hopefully the rest of the week goes by smoothly for you guys. I really hope that. I think we all deserve to have an easy breezy type of week. Take care, guys. Good night.